I have watched a lot of FIFA content in my life. I've watched Ultimate Team, Pro Clubs.
It still would have been 4-1. It still would
No,
have
but
been
we'd have
4-1.
broken the curse and we would have won this game. The curse had been lifted.
I was
now,
touched as a
we can
child.
Score.
Career mode,
Full time at Wembley. Burton Albion are European champions.
pretty much everything at this point. And one interesting niche is rebuilds. Now, a rebuild is basically starting a career mode save with a team, no matter how good or bad they are, and trying to make them better, but not actually playing the games yourself as you would in pretty much any other career mode. I've watched many different YouTubers attempt this, including people like Barfy Boy or Jared HD, but I've never actually done it myself, which I would say is a pretty good reason for me to try it. Also, I should mention that I'm doing this on FIFA 15. Why 15? Well, it's my favorite number. No. Okay, jokes aside, for me, FIFA 15 is my second favorite FIFA, 17 being my favorite. But the main reason why I wanted to do 15, that just sounds so bad, Jesus. The reason why I wanted to do FIFA 15 was because it's kind of considered retro at this point. It came out over 10 years ago, which by most people would be considered very old. And before I begin, let's establish some rules. Rule number 1 is quite simple: no cheating. I mean, that's quite simple, I guess, quite straightforward. Rule number 2 is only simulating, and only simulating via the calendar. Rule number 3 is the only games that I can play are the finals. These are the only rules that I have established, and the only thing I am left with is picking a team. So, which team did I pick? I thought about it for probably 10 or 20 minutes even, and I thought, why not Germany? I've not really played in Germany in any of the FIFA games. Usually I play in England or Spain or Ireland or whatever. Don't know why Ireland, I just kind of like it. And more specifically, I wanted to go with the second division and try to get a small team promoted and potentially winning the Bundesliga. Now, I thought about teams like Nuremberg, Düsseldorf, Union Berlin, Bochum, or is it Bochum? I don't know. I was also very intrigued by RB Leipzig because of their massive budget, but eventually I decided to go with FC Kaiserslautern. Why, you may ask? Well, their logo kind of looks like the word fuck, so I thought that was pretty funny. In the loading screen, I was greeted with this nice news article of positivity, which I thought was quite nice. And on my first day as manager, the club was already top of the league, so that's a great start.
This is great banter.
My assistant manager suggested that we should look for a striker, and I think we're gonna need much more than that, because this team is not the best, to say the least, especially considering that the board wanted us to get automatic promotion. So, first things first, I moved the finances around and we had about this much to spend on new players, and on top of that I transfer listed all the deadwood, aka the players that were pretty much never gonna play for the club. So after that I went looking for new players, of course. I was specifically looking for a right back and wanted to loan someone like Yedlin or Behrin, but their wages were quite high. I then had the brilliant idea to sign a free agent or two and found this guy who decided to join us. I've also loaned out a lot of players to raise funds for one or two big names, and in the process I sold these two guys, whom I wish all the best. I did look at other players and found Corona, but the only solid option I could find was this guy. Him and I probably spent like 3 or 4 hours on transfer deadline day arguing back and forth about wages and playing time, but eventually I just decided to give in and give him a 50,000 a week contract, because that was the only thing that he could agree on. What a prick. Anyway, he cost me 1.6 million, and it was the second and final acquisition of the summer. Now, I did simulate a couple of games at the start of the season, but the less said about them, the better. The only thing left to do was to simulate until January 1st. And on January 1st, this is what the league table looked like. We were sitting in 4th place, but unlike me, the board were not that happy, and I even got this message. Though 4th wasn't even that far off 2nd, so I don't know why they were so upset. Anyway, a couple of contracts were running out, so I decided to negotiate with players and advanced a couple of days so that they could accept them, and then this happened. Oh, for fuck